Good and welcome to the Nighttime Heat rented on Prime FM 105.5. Tonight we are here once again, and of course, it promises to be very, very interesting tonight. You know, the analysis of President Joseph Boakai Sona continues tonight, and of course, we have some guests who will come to also share their thoughts on the program on the Sona. Tonight. You know, the program is rated on Prime FM 105.5 and also stream live on Facebook. Just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page, and of course, you're going to follow the show live. Also, maybe you are in the diaspora, you want to follow the show on YouTube, or maybe you are rented in Liberia, and of course, you want to follow the show on YouTube. Just again, tap Nighttime Heat, and of course, you're going to follow the show on YouTube. Tonight we are also streaming live on our Nighttime Heat page, and of course the YouTube page, and Prime FM 105.5 page as well. We are streaming live tonight, and of course, you know, after the guests are left, we'll have the guests for maybe 1 hour, 15 or 30 minutes. After they've left, we're going to talk about a couple of things, but we're going to begin the guests with you know, the video that is trending concerning reaction from the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Information. You know, Minister Pia had said that President Boakai Sona on the total paved roads, number of paved roads in Liberia, he said it was lying and misquotation. So who did misinform the president? We're going to talk about that. Is it that the president's advisors didn't go through the speech as well? Is it only because, you know, Jeremy Pierre tried, you know, blaming the writers of the speech as being responsible for the misquotation and deception? We're going to talk about that as well. Has that happened before? The 6 years of former President George Weah, did we hear that happening, where Sona was delivered and the Minister of Information came out to clarify data or clarify statistics? We'll talk about that tonight as well. And then also tonight, my guest and I want to talk about you know, the Minister of Farmers and Development Planning, Augustine Gafuante, held a media engagement, and of course he, you know, elaborated on the state of the economy. What did he say? We'll, you know, get our own thoughts on that as well. You know, I'm sure you might have heard VP Cone, that's the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, has bought 15, can you imagine, 15 new brand vehicles for his staff. Wow, especially in a country of such, you know. You think it was a prudent decision or a waste of taxpayers' money? Do you think he should have just bought a bus for his people and then allow his staff to ride on that and get home? We're going to talk about that as well. Now, we understand that the IMF has confirmed Liberia's 5.1% economic growth. Well, if for truly IMF said that, well, we're going to, you know, talk about that as well. Yes, the guests will sit there, and you know, we don't know what is Sona. The State of the Nation, the State of the Nation address was mute on the issue of rape and other crimes. Isn't that the speech record? They didn't include that in the speech for the president to talk about is Sona. What really happened? We're going to, you know, look into that as well. So let me try to welcome my guests quick. First, my panelists, you know, they are coming in. Okay, Moses here also. Let me welcome Moses. Moses is far away from us. You know, you have to cross the Atlantic Ocean before you can get to Moses. Moses, welcome to the program. Moses, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Let me say hi.
Moses, we're not getting it. Seems like you have to go and come back on. Welcome to the program.
Okay. Yeah, are you hearing me now? Do you hear me?
No,
David.
you are coming into terrible. It seems you have to go off and come back on. So we'll come
Okay,
back to you.
sure,
Welcome to the program,
sure. All right,
Benedictus
sure.
Erasmus Nambutabwe.
Thank you very much, Sabo. It's always yeah, exciting to be on the nighttime.
And I know I pronounce your name very well, right? All the names that your parents gave you. Benedictus Erasmus Nambutabwe.
No, I always told you have to call it
David.
chronologically.
Okay, cool.
David.
Benedictus.
No.
Okay, David.
David Erasmus Benedictus Nambutabwe.
Why you carry all that name with David? All the names why you carry them?
Sabo, don't consume our time. we
Let me hear from you. George, welcome to the program. My name's
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got a fully crew man right here.
I want to give you a high down for.
Anyway, thank you. We want to tell our audiences, thank you so much. Please share the show. And we want to tell our guests, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to encourage you to share the show. Share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow. Like we said, we are streaming live on our Facebook page. Just type Nighttime Heat, you're going to follow. And also, we are streaming live on our YouTube channel. Again, just type Nighttime Heat, you're going to follow. And also, we are streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia, 105.5. And I understand other, local TV, they are also about to stream the program live. I'll be calling their names very, very shortly. I will name them to you. We have as guests, and of course, we have in studio already Representative Smoke Morba. He's here. And of course, we're expecting Senator Wellington Jeevan Smith, but he just texted and said they've just ended some meetings at the Capitol of the Senators, so he had to run, but he'll be online. So we just sent him the link. Also, we should have Liberian economist Sam Jackson. Jackson too will be online very, very shortly. So as soon as he comes, we're going to interview. We're going to introduce them on the program, but introduce them to the program, but they haven't yet get online. I think Sam and Wellington Jeevan Smith, they are trying to connect to the link up with us, connect to the set. But let me welcome Representative Smoke Morba. We haven't seen you for some time. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You dress as if you are couple of stations, and you just trying to elaborate on what the president said, agree with him on everything.
No. I'm not the interpreter of the president,
Okay.
but I'm a realist. So,
Okay.
yeah. So sometimes when I see things that people try to change another way to make it look different, in order to have that showmanship,
Yeah.
I have to go against it to make sure that, because I'm from the Unity Party, and my thing is to defend my party at all times. Yeah.
Okay. So let's welcome. I know Edwin Famula. Edwin just came in. Edwin, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening to you guys. To the honorable, welcome again. We've been talking online as
You're right.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. I'm glad to be here tonight.
Okay. Now, let me give you the big news again. Beginning next week, this program will go full week. That is from Monday up to Friday. We're not going to breaking anymore. We'll go from Monday to Friday, beginning next week. So it's it's a good news for you to always listen to the Nighttime Heat, to be part of the heat as well every night. So let's begin with this tip quickly. The tip that has to do with the Minister of Information. It's still about the analysis of the president's address, but it came up, and we have to talk about that quickly. I was going through the Minister of Information said, I'm going to listen to that, that the president's shown on the total paved road, the number of paved roads not actually correct. I don't know what he had to come out to say that, and blaming the writers of the speech has been responsible. Is he pushing them on the bus? Is he exposing them to public ridicule? We're going to talk about that quickly. Let's listen to that tape.
You, the Liberian people, to be open to be transparent, and to just be truthful. And in that line of wanting to be truthful, we would like to start our comment on the annual message from a point that was made by the president during the delivery. And I'd like to quote that point before I say what I'm supposed to say. In the message as it was written and read by the president, it says, Mr. Speaker and members of the legislature, nearly 3 years ago, I showed the nation that roads should be our focus, not as a slogan, but rather a commitment in connecting communities.
Through reading without going through an exact comprehension. When you look at the writer, I would say the writer did a brilliant job. There were portions, even the issue of the 70,000 job. When you look at the phrase used figuratively, when you look at the phrase, he said we created jobs, 70,000 jobs, and not that we gave job. So when you create, you expand, you create the opportunity, the environment for job.
We'll come to that, but we are specific on the clarification made by the list of information. You think that was quite necessary?
No, I think he has said missed the speech. He may be interpreting in the way he see it also based on the propaganda, but I think the writer did a beautiful job, and I can defend that.
And you think
Here's what I'm
you think he shouldn't be, you shouldn't have blame the writers on whatever. You think that there's an error.
No, you cannot blame the writer. You are part of government, right? You should be in control of your data before you publish information out. You should have data. You should have total control of it. And I think as I said, from the 70,000, that's the argument now. The 70,000 job to talk about is there. And I'm willing to show you where you can see within the
He
speech.
said the number of paved roads that the president announced it was a misquotation and lied, that the script writers or the speech writers inserted in the speech and allowed the president to.
Remember now, when it comes to job, you have quote unquote the informal job and the formal job. So from the writer idea, he may have incorporated the informal aspect of the projection that create noise, and people change with their own tone.
Now, let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. I don't know what Moses on now, but let me hear from you, Edwin. What comes to your mind, Edwin, when the Minister of Information, who's supposed to be helping to manage the government PR, is now putting speech writers under the bus, exposing them to public ridicule? Because when you come up to say it is, you want to blame the speech writers, in other words, you are indirectly blaming the president of saying something indirectly, saying something untrue to the people.
Well,
Let's hear from you.
I don't think he's trying to put the speech writer under the bus. I think he's trying to just signify that there are challenges around the executive mansions. And even myself, because there are some areas there where you even saw the president himself even struggling. The issue, I think Moses pulling in our chat room where he said flour price has reduced from $35 to $35. So it speaks a volume, right? Now, the way the annual message is prepared, sectors from different sectors send in reports. The president now needs to set up a secretariat around the time of November, between October to January, so that when people receive these reports, they are verified before it put into the speech. Because many times you have ministries and agencies and government parastatals trying to showcase themselves what they have done. Now, they just send you an ordinary report. There's nothing to verify those reports. And then at the end of the day, those things are...
But who's supposed to be verifying those reports when the president has advisors?
That's what I said. There should be a secretariat that deals directly with the president's annual message.
So, okay, let me read it. Taba, what do you think about the Sam Jackson's on? What do you think about the clarification made by the Minister of Information that the total number of paved road roads inserted in the speech delivered by the president was just misquotation and deception?
But the first thing, the Minister of Information is a spokesperson of the government.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a situation that the critics of the government or the opposition
we'll feed on
is running, will feed with,
mm-hmm.
I mean, the president relied his speech and they run with it. It is the prerogative of the Minister of Information to provide clarification. But my question I wanted to ask Representative Sunways, you said the writer did a brilliant job. So if a job that is characterized by brilliance, then how come the government is apologizing? Saying that it's an error, as somebody saying that the minister said that it is an error. So if it were an error, then where is the brilliance? Because after all, if you write a speech that a president of a nation is supposed to read, it must be rehearsed first by the president, maybe a week ahead of the SONA, or must also be handled by 3 or 4, heads to determine where the gaps or the errors are before even
to cross the T and the T's and cross the I's.
Before even it touches the president deck. So you call that brilliance, Honorable?
Yeah, can I just run through
that brilliance?
Can I just run through it? Yeah. In the procedure aspect of writing a speech, the writer is not the one that will give detailed information about your government. They go with reports. They collect reports from every sector and report it to the president, in turn gave it to the writer. Based on what you gave the writer is what he got to present.
Yep, of course.
So when you say the writer, then I have issue with it. It is the data, I keep saying that, it is the data that you gave that have the error. and not
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
speech.
We are
Yeah, go ahead.
specific about the roles now, the number of roles that,
Of course.
that's what we're concerned about.
Which number of roles you talking about?
The number of paved roads.
inflicted number of
inflicted
paved
number
The
of
information minister is saying
inflicted number of paved roads.
the numbers
I think that's exactly the question.
almost
we-
misquotation.
Yeah, so misquotation would not come from the writer himself. It comes directly from the
information
sector.
the sector that
So
yes.
if public work is responsible for that, public work take the blame and not the director.
Okay, let me hold you there and quickly welcome Mr. Sam Jackson, a Liberian economist, very revered and respected and highly esteemed. Mr. Jackson, welcome to the program.
Good answer.
Good afternoon, good evening. Why you always call me Liberian economist? I'm an economist, period. I don't have to be.
Okay, so
call me
welcome.
economist, daytime.
It's on the way economy. Yeah, Liberian economy. So welcome to the program. I'm coming back to you, and let me welcome Senator Jeevon Smith, Wellington Jeevon Smith, to the program also. Senator, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba, and it's a privilege for me to appear on your show for the first time.
Yeah, surely. After our days at Star Radio.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me go back to Senator Mr. Sam Jackson. Mr. Jackson, let's hear from you. We just played a tape concerning the Minister of Information saying that the speech, part of the speech that has to do with the roads, the total number of paved roads, he said it was just misquotation. It was an error, and of course he blamed the speech writers for misinforming the president. But indirectly, the president has said something that is not true to the Liberian people. What's your interpretation concerning that?
Are you asking me that question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Saba, I'm sorry. I was having internet problem. And you just rephrase.
Okay, I'm saying to you, Frank, I'm saying to you, I don't know whether you saw the video, but the Minister of Information had a press conference and indicated that the number of paved roads that were inserted in the speech, that aspect was an error by the speech writers. He blamed the speech writers for misinforming and for inserting the misquotation. But others are saying, some political pundits, they believe indirectly, he's saying that the president erred as well. Let's hear from you.
Look, that speech was a total disaster. Let's just be very clear about that. I worked as a consultant and sometimes advisor for 12 years of the Unity Party administration under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And we had a team of people, not just in terms to edit the speech, but in terms of to validate every single line of that. You have ample time. You have more than a month or more to write the SONA, right? From right after Christmas, right? December 26, December 27, you start collating everything that all the different agencies and ministries of government they send up to the Ministry of State. Then we assign teams to every sector. For example, health experts will look at health data. Engineers and people who understand in terms of road construction will look at the road data. Then the economic data in terms of what is inflation, what is GDP, what is job creation or whatever. We have to validate all of those data. Then after we do all of that, before we give the speech to a professional speech writer, and at that time it was Shirley Brownell, who came from the UN, and in fact she was the one who edited my book, Rich Land, Poor Country. But so I know the young people that are working for Joe Boyka. And I'm not going to question the education. We're going to have the credentials in terms of the educational, in terms of the paperwork, right? But these are very young people, never worked anywhere for more than 5 or 10 years in the private sector, never had any major responsibility. don't have the discipline to sit down there. Sometimes to validate one data point, it would take you several hours to validate a data point. So the kind of sloppiness that we saw here, it shows a lot of immaturity. President Boyka needs to put together a team of professionals. And I'm not even going to come near it, so nobody will think that I'm looking for a consultancy job. This is the only government in the history of this country that I have finger to help for the following reasons. The first reason is that no, let me just finish. It's important for the to know. There are so many professional librarians around the world today, in country and out of the country, that they can Ellen put together teams of professionals. Ellen had Dr. Eric Wecker from the Harvard Growth Institute. She had Mario Umbonas from Macquarie University. She had Stephen Radler, who wrote that book, Revitalization of the Librarian Economy Post-War, that gave that data point of a 90% reduction in GDP. She had other people from the ODR, okay, from the UK. She had people from the Tony Blair Institute. She had people from all over the world that came together to make her look good the way she is. But these people don't have, either they're arrogant, either they believe that government is insular, they're not building a big tent. And so the last 24, the last how many hours now? This is Wednesday. For the last 48 hours, they're getting it is a bloodbath. All over the internet, they're making fun of them. Okay, and let me come to what Jeremy Pierre. For Jeremy Pierre, the Minister of Information, that's not his role to clarify road construction and road data. That data was supposed to come from the Minister of Public Works. And the Minister of Public Works should have gone with a fine-tooth comb to ensure that the data that was given out there was valid, right? And there are other data that came out there in terms of job creation. People just laughing at them for the 70,000 jobs. People are laughing at them even about the inflation rate that they're talking about. It came out of 4%. These are all inaccurate data, and it just shows the happiness.
Okay, so let me go there. I'll come back to you. Let me go to Senator Wellington G. Smith. Senator Smith, what do you think about the clarification from the angle of the Minister of Information?
Well, George, I cannot speak much to what the Minister of Information have said, because yesterday we had session, today it was a hectic day for us. We had a public hearing on this issue with the telecommunication, former management, and this contract that they signed called TIA. We were in the chamber of the Senate until it was after 6 this evening. So I've been extremely busy, and I had the luxury of time to pay attention to what the minister may have said. So I don't want to.
Let me give you some heads up. The minister has said that the number of paved roads inserted in the speech, that was a complete misquotation and lied. In another word, he said that the speech writers didn't do well on that. So there are pundits who believe that indirectly he's saying that the president didn't give the actual facts to the people, because it was the president who read the speech. You being from the media background, you think that was quite necessary for Jeremy Pierre, the Minister of Information, to have come up to make such a clarification?
Well, again, I would not just want to respond to the Minister of Information based on your own presentation of the issue to me. I can express my opinion on any other issue, but not from a second or third party source like you, while you are telling me, because as I told you, the day have been so hectic for me until I not pay attention.
So let me run it. Thank you. Let me hold there. Go to Moses. Moses, welcome to the program once again. I know you are clear now. What's your thoughts on the clarification made by the Minister of Information today?
Well, thank you so much, and let me say hi to every one of you in studio. Like most of the panelists have said, honestly, I think Minister Pia was in error. The optics not good. If I were the Minister of Information, I would not have done that. First thing now, let's be honest here. How many persons actually pick up that data? The entire speech, how many persons ever got that data that Pia came to clarify? There was no need for that. The optics for the government is not good. The clarification just showed, like Mr. Samuel Jackson said, it shows how dysfunctional the administration is. Writing the SONA, it is not 1 or 2 day event. It is a process that takes weeks. So what are you telling me? All the people who are advisors to the president, what do? Are they not consulting? You're quoting data from the Ministry of Public Works. Don't you verify? And the president will speak, and then you have officials from the government clarifying from different angles. What is happening with this administration? Mr. Barker claimed to have over 42 years leadership experience. I mean, the errors are just too many, man. That's why
Okay,
I think I was in error.
Okay, let me get to George Kennedy quickly. George, let me hear from you. Have you experienced this before? Where maybe let's trace it to former President Eddie Johnson, Sirleaf, George, we had 6 years, where a SONA was held, and maybe the Minister of Information came up to clarify data in the SONA. Did you experience that? Did you hear that before? Has it happened?
If the numbers were misquoted by the public, he will have had a moral standing to clarify it. But if the number, actually the figure.
No, I'm asking, has that happened before?
I haven't seen that.
Okay,
if the figure was actually misquoted and an information minister comes out to clarify, I would have said yes, the person was correct.
So it is under this administration that it has happened.
Yes.
Okay.
This number, probably the minister is saying it was understated. But understated, he shouldn't have come out to say anything about it. He will have corrected it behind the scene, because understated is still positive for the government. If you pave 70 kilometers of road and you come and tell the public, oh, I have paved, I've been 30 kilometers or 50 kilometers of road, still positive for you, because actually the actual number is 70 means that you're working above. But you come in to put your colleagues under the bus. I tend to agree with Honorable Mawaba with some fights that yes, it is not the speed writer, probably it is the data providers. Those who get the data, the speech is not having grammatical errors or other things that somebody gets a little write up blunder. So figures are provided by the data that are provided by those ministries and agencies are what this writer plays into that.
Sure.
So for Honorable, I mean for Mr. Jackson, say it was a disaster. A disaster. I tend to disagree with him.
I have a question.
You disagree with him?
So are you suggesting?
Yeah.
Are you guys suggesting that they how to call it? What you say, Justin, about the figure being understated?
Yeah.
Or I mean, there's a question whenever it slipped from my mind.
Okay, let's leave.
There's a question.
Now, this is where now Moses, let me come to you, Moses. You've been in the media field. You think, and likewise all of you, I'm sure, you think it was quite necessary, because given the fact that not everybody listened to that part of the speech and not everybody pick it up, for the Minister of Information to come out, do you think it had some, it has some serious political, professional, it was a serious political professional breach there, or it sparked? Because, sometimes that's what people can say, it's good to always put people in that field where they belong or where they got their education. Because at the end of the day, when you go to school, let's assume for journalism, your professor is going to tell you about all the necessary strategies. I know there are certain information that you just leave like that, especially when it has to do, with the image of the country. You just leave it at that, because especially again when people not many people pick it up, you just leave it. But when you are short in not learning the profession the way you're supposed to learn it, that these are some of the things that can happen. Moses, what do you think could likely cause on the image of the country? Let me hear from you, Moses.
Well, look, this is what I would like to say. As we often say in the United States, the typical Americans will say that if it is not broken, don't fix it. Simply saying that there was no need for that. The president spoke. If you go out and do an interview today, almost 70-80% of the people will tell you that they did not even hear that. Let me give you a typical example. Some of the lawmakers that attended that event, I listened to Senator Edwin Snowe and Senator Musa Bilete. They said they had problem with audio. So all the time the president was speaking, they did not hear what he was saying. So now you tell me how many of our people out there in the public, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if something is wrong, we shouldn't correct it. But there was no need for Mr. Pierre to do this. Let it go. Like my brother Kennedy said, that is something that you handle behind his saying. Don't come and try to correct it. That is not necessary. Honestly,
Okay.
Different perspective. Okay, I see it from a different perspective.
Yes, as Representative Small.
I think the two key things that push this arrest agenda is transparency and accountability to the people.
Mhm.
So when you have a speech, the speech is different from the audio, the voice. So the speech is the right facts that people can lay hands on anytime to see. And in the space of good governance, I think what the minister did to outline those areas within the speech that was not in line with their agenda or what they did, their work. It was necessary by the minister for the sake of transparency to the Liberian people, because that's one of the things
Necessary to expose the speech writers to public ridicule?
There's nothing wrong. It have happened before in other countries. But it happened in Botswana. It happened
But
before.
we aren't talking about other countries. We're talking about right here, Liberia. We just said, and listen to some of your quotes. You said, well, before a speech is written, there are individuals who proofread it. There are people. The president has advisors. So are we saying that are we saying that the advisors of the president are not working? The advisors are not working. So because these are people who also be able to look at documents before the president can put his eyes on it.
They are working, but when there are errors, right? When it is identified, let me tell you, if you just leave it, when it get outside, when the propagandists get hold of that, right? They will fly with it like wildfire. But if you recognize it for the sake of transparency to the people, when you recognize that, it shows a good governance process. So I think the minister was right.
Have you experienced this before? Have you seen it? Former president said 6 years. Former president said 6 years. Former president, we are 6 years. Did you see that happening?
So let's look at
Did you hear it or did you see it?
It depends how they went, along with their government. Because for any time, there were lapses.
No, the reason why I asked the question, the propaganda that was peddled against former President Weah was that he's not educated. He doesn't know book. He got his education on his feet and all of that. But his 6 years of rule, we didn't see that happening, where President Weah came up with Sona, and the Minister of Information ran to the public to say, look, this is what happened. Speech writers are responsible, blasting everybody, including, speech writers and blaming even, and plus what I could be blaming the president. Because at that time, there have been no error. So are you saying that there might be no error?
Yeah.
So in other words, you're saying that in other words, you're saying that the people that were around the president Weah at the time, or former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they are far educated and more effective than those who are now against and around President Buhari.
Many at that time, many were like not bother with the speech from President Weah because the notion there is that the group they are now educated.
But that's the reason why they are making a mistake now. For them, they are coming out. Representative.
Yeah.
That's the reason why the mistakes have been made. Because whenever you claimed to know all, at the end of the day, you blundered.
No, error will all be error.
Let me go to Mr. Sam Jackson. Mr. Jackson,
I have a question for Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson. Okay, Mr. Jackson, kind of weigh on this quickly.
Yeah,
But that's a question for you.
Mr. Jackson started a comment by saying that entire speech was a disaster. I think that was an exaggeration. An exaggeration because we're talking about one piece.
You asking a question or you making a comment?
Wait.
No, I'm asking. You asking a question and making a comment.
Someone-
You say you got a question for Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, he can comment. He can add on my comment or comment on my comment.
So it's not a question, it's a comment.
What I've observed for
Brave Tiger, it's not a question, it's a comment, right?
Right now, it's a question.
Okay.
It's
Ask
a
the
question.
question.
Okay, let me say it's a question.
Yeah, ask the question.
Mr. Jackson said the entire speech was a disaster.
From CMC, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, are you listening?
Let's see why.
I'm listening
Mr.
very
Jackson.
much.
Listen,
I'm listening, but I waiting for you to finish.
Mr. Jackson, you said the entire speech was a disaster. And you're just talking about one portion, one piece of the speech that the government has admitted it aired on. And you said the entire speech is a disaster. I think don't you think that is an exaggeration, it's political or an intent to undermine
ask him to elaborate on what it means. Ask him to elaborate.
When I'm asking a question,
Okay, fine. So he's about
don't you think it's an exaggeration, politically, charged because you want to undermine you from the opposition?
CMC.
You want to undermine the president's entire speech when we're talking about only one error, knowing that no one is infallible, people err.
Mr. Jackson, you can come in.
Mr. Jackson, you say you're listening.
States the internet giving out.
Yeah, because of the weather.
Mr. Jackson?
Well, we're better than other people, man.
Okay, so you're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on Prime FM 105.5. Again, you can share the show. Kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow what's happening on the program. Yes.
So let me just say something quickly, if you guys don't mind. I was saying that there was no need for Minister Pierre to do that because the speech that was delivered, the SONA, there are too many data that are questionable. Take, for example, the Ministry of Gender. They talk about reunifying 1,700 children with their families. When you reunify, it means the kids were removed from the care of their parents and put into either foster care or kinship care. Where did that happen in Liberia? You live there. Did you ever hear about that? That data is questionable. I heard the president made reference to 800 at-risk youth being rehabilitated. That data is also questionable because what we saw in the media, people were taken to what? Makeshift structures. They were poorly fed. Those people fled those shelters, and the president reported that as an accomplishment. That data is also questionable. The 7,000 jobs we're talking about, people are raising concern about that because the data is also questionable. So there are just a lot of things about the speech that are questionable. Let me start.
Okay, yes, Dave, you had a question for Mr. Sam Jackson. He's back.
We need to throw some emphasis on
I'm telling you, you throw emphasis. What?
Is he saying he didn't get the question?
No, Mr. Jackson was all.
Mr. Jackson, are you listening now? Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, at this,
Where
at
you
this time of the day, at this
you-
time of the day, we
okay,
have
okay.
internet problems here in Cape Town. But listen,
Engage on. I mean,
Okay, fine. Yeah. So,
Okay, so
ask
Mr.
a
Jackson.
question.
Okay,
No preamble. Just quickly.
No, so I had to set
I
the
said
basis.
this speech was a disaster.
But preamble can be very wrong. The preamble can- What is anything?
Number
No,
one,
I'm not attacking tonight. I just
Mr. Jackson, you started by saying the entire
Yeah.
speech was a disaster, right? You said the speech was a disaster. The entire speech was a disaster. You hear me?
yeah, but let me speak now. Let me tell you why it was a
okay.
disaster.
No. I want to end
No,
my
no, I should
question.
tell you why the speech was a disaster.
You said the entire speech was a disaster. You just talked about one portion, one error. Then you said the entire speech was a disaster. Don't you think that is an exaggeration?
Disaster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you people can let other people talk.
I see
The
that.
floor is to you.
Go ahead, Mr.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
don't want the audience to hear my response.
No.
Can you all hear my response now?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear my?
Yes, we're hearing you. You are loud.
CMC, go ahead. CMC, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, this is an annual message. Annual message tells you what happened the preceding. Yeah, I may have to go back and come back in because of my internet.
Yes, apparently, yes. But you are on. We are hearing you.
You're already in error.
We are hearing you. You are on.
Preceding year. The previous year, not preceding year.
The man eating.
You get ahead of it.
Mr. Jackson, we are hearing you. Go right ahead.
So,
Previous year and then
Please, let's listen to him.
okay.
Preceding why he was.
First
No,
of
you what
all,
you're saying.
Mhm.
the state of the economy. The president said we have 5.1% growth rate, which was a change from the 4.6, and I can accept that because those are the projections economists made, including the World Bank, the IMF, right? But you have to look at the composition of that growth. That growth was mostly from the mining sector and a little bit from agriculture. That is not broad-based. Secondly, the president said inflation had reduced from 8.4% to 4%, and that is a lie, an outright lie. In the inflation, which is the consumer price index, is calculated on a quarterly basis. In the last quarter, yes, inflation went to 4.4, right? But if you average inflation from the first, second, third, and fourth quarters, it is at 8.4%. They neglected to average out the annual inflation rate. The only way the annual inflation rate would go down to 4% if there was a significant reduction in the prices in the consumer price index basket, or you had a significant appreciation of the Liberian dollar. And I know I'm getting technical. What I'm trying to say, the government is seeing that the prices of things are going down very, very much. The Liberian dollar rate, which was used to calculate that, you cannot go to the marketplace and get that rate. And the goods and services that were denominated in the US dollars rate, you will get a higher, you need a higher number of dollars. Then the president said they said 70,000 short and medium-term jobs were created. Lie. Fact Check went out today and looked at the website of the World Bank Realize project. The government said they created 15,000 jobs from the Realize project, only 10,000 jobs. The Realize project is not meant to create jobs. It is a form of a post-COVID called social protection, where the World Bank is giving income sustenance to vulnerable citizens of Liberia. For the government of Liberia to count that kind of subsistence payment, which is welfare, to vulnerable groups and call that is job creation, is shameful. Okay? And then on the road, they said they've paved 20% of the roads in the country. The only reason why those issues came out is because we in the opposition, we made a critical analysis of the president's speech, and we exhibited to the Liberian people that these were lies, and we proved that these are lies. That is the reason why. And on especially on the issue of the paving of the roads, it was Minister Samuel Twe that challenged the figures. Now let's go to today. I have never seen in my lifetime where after a State of the Nation address, where a Minister of Information will come and correct a data point of the president. And number two, the Minister of Finance also called a press conference today and said that 70,000 jobs were not created in the period of the annual message, but for 2 years. His words were, you don't think we can create 70,000 jobs in 2 years. They're using World Development Indicators. The World Development Indicators is not a credible source for job creation in Liberia. The International Labour Organization or the Liberian Institute, LISGIS would be the appropriate one, right? Or the Ministry of, but more especially the National Authority is the Ministry of Labor. In October, when the Minister of Labor was asked, how many jobs have you created in 2 years? He said they did not have the data. Minister Kafwa also said today he regrets that
they are bringing in other people.
They have not created a system where they can do the surveys to give you the jobs figure. That's why.
Somebody you join them. No, they're not coming in.
No, but
can you hear me?
Right. Thank you. I think you've already landed, right?
Yes, I've landed.
you have to learn.
Okay.
You have to learn.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Yeah, you can come in now, Representative Swoboda. Are you coming to counter him or you go to?
But let me just
Swing along with
let
it.
me just throw a few questions to the guy from CMC, Samuel Jackson, because when he made mention of inflation, I'd like to know just two things. What was inflation at the year when the president took over? What was the inflation rating at that time?
I
Hello.
believe the inflation was around. I believe the inflation was around 10%. But let's talk about year to year.
10%. You are right. You are right. What is happening?
Sir, you asked me a question. Let me answer the question, please.
You answer. Just a simple question.
I'm not
You
answering.
Jackson on stage.
No. This is not a court of law, please. Okay, this is an interaction. This is a dialogue.
Jackson will not show us here.
I answer the question.
He answered the question.
So let me just throw the second question now. Then you can come out to
Okay. You want to throw the second question? Yeah, go ahead,
No,
Representative.
but I have not answered the first question yet.
You said 10. It's okay. You said 10.
At the end of 2024, the average annual rate of inflation calculated was 8.4%. That at the end of 2024, the average annual.
Yeah.
So we are comparing year to year, not period to period. Not
All right, 2025.
not quarter to quarter. So the average
2025.
annual for 2024 was 8.4%, and for this, for 8%, and for this year that ended.
Is that not reduction? Is that not reduction? Is that not reduction?
Sir,
Is that not reduction?
Sir, it was 8%.
Let us speak economic term. Is that not reduction?
And the average annual is 8.4. So no, it went up by 0.4%. It's not a reduction, it's by 0.4%. The government lied and it said it went down to 4%.
It went up by
Mr. Jackson, you answered the question. Yes,
You have to balance it. You have to balance
Mr.
it now.
Jackson, you have answered the question. Let me ask the second question.
Yeah, well, the first question, when I asked, he said 10, which was 2023. 2024, he came again to say 8.4. So I asked, is that not reduction?
Sir.
It's not that reduction. According to your
Sir,
hello.
I'm answering the question that way because the government said it went down to 4%. It went down
No,
to 4%. They misstated the data. And once they misstated the data, whether it went down or not is immaterial. The fact that they lie about the quantum
No,
of the reduction in inflation.
Year 2024. Let's think at year 2024 because year 2024 is the beginning of Burkhardt.
Was reduced.
It's the beginning of Burkhardt regime. Let's stick to year 2024. What's the rating, the inflation ratings?
That's what I'm
No, one at a time. Let's discuss it one at a time. Inflation. What's the reduction rating there? Year 2024.
Okay, it seems
I
I
think
said
you
that.
don't make your point, sir.
Yeah, just to make a point. Come in, gentlemen. We'll talk about the. I think we need to go into the economy briefly because before we can go to other discussions. Today, the Minister of Finance held a media engagement, and he elaborated on some of the things that the president said. I think he gave more details regarding those figures and all of that. We have to play that tape. We already have the tape. We'll shortly play that tape, and then we can all talk about that quickly. But let's hear from you, Representative Smoke.
Well, let me start with what he began with. He started with inflation, and from when Burkhardt took over 2023, reduction was at 10%. 2024 it came to 8.4, and now we look at 4.6, 4.4, right? So that's a reduction in inflation. And he went on to say also the growth rate, the GDP rate, is 5.1%. Then it was 4.6%, right? He said that all of this thing came from directly the mineral sector. That's not true. 17% expansion came from the mineral sector.
I said mostly the mineral sector, mostly.
Mostly.
I said mostly. You must quote me directly.
When you use the word mostly, it means there's an increased rating. When you use the word mostly, there's an increased rating. I'm saying 17%. So how can you use the word mostly when it is 17%?
Okay. So, gentlemen, let's
No, I'm not leaving. We'll get to job creation.
Okay.
I will not leaving. Quickly. The definition of the 70,000, right? And my question to Samuel Jackson was the issue of the 70,000. The phrase used figuratively. The president said we created 70,000 jobs. The phrase "create" means to expand, not to give job. To expand, you create the avenue that people can come and get job. Through what means? Through the instruments. I would say when you see from the first paragraph to when we have the 70,000 job, there were instruments.
So come here.
Yeah.
Let me get it right.
Yeah.
You're saying that the president said we created and we didn't provide.
We create a job, there is an atmosphere, economic atmosphere.
I wanted to look at the difference between creation of job and provision of job.
So they're almost the same thing, Sober.
But
let's take for instance, right? There are so many jobs at stake. Let's take, for example, the pavement of the road. You think who's going to do the road? Him or Roba? Human. Let's look at the agreement, the total agreement. For the total agreement, you have logistics. You have people that will be moving, engineers. Who do you think they will employ? Liberians. Right? Then for the informal sector that we are not capturing, that is not much documented based on payroll, you find out that we have a lot of vacancy, a lot of people that have been acquired jobs, like even those from my electrifying, right? You have contractors. You think they are working free?
Okay, so let's try.
They are being paid by the government.
Go deep into that. Let's try to listen to the Minister of Finance today. The Minister of Finance convened media. You don't have it? Okay, it's loading. Just the first portion of it before the press, the press engagements.
I want to provide
yes, okay, go ahead.
Look, when they say create job, let me make it very simple. If electricity expands and someone comes and open a business here, private business, and they employ 2 people, and there's that person, there's a withholding tax from that person, they are registered as job creator in the economy. It doesn't have to be government own self-employment.
In the private sector.
All right. jobs that are created in the private sector as a result of the economic environment that been created by that government in power is counted as jobs.
So, yeah.
It's not only what government itself gave. I see that one misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That
So-
so all those things, those data when they get it, that's why the
So then,
that's why the
this is what I come in now.
Yeah.
Who do you think supposed to be the ones to clarify, to explain to the Liberian people?
it is the government.
I come in.
It is a
I think Sam Jackson raised a very good point at the beginning of this conversation.
Mhm.
Again, I said the same thing. The people who sit around and collect these data are the ones who are supposed to make sure that these data are verified with all statistical document to prove. Because at the end of the day, when these information start flaring up, you need to have proof to be able to submit out there. Now, if you can just go back before the president could even deliver the annual message, the speech already leaked. People had a speech because I was even reading the speech when the president was going along.
That's my issue.
All right, so now there were already this information
So who leaked the
out
speech?
there. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So has the government launching an
I
investigation?
can also confirm here tonight
I'm coming out.
that Madam Salif time.
I'm coming out.
Someone used to get her speeches
Let me
so that
finish.
days before there was news platform and we used to look at it. As journalists.
Let me just finish now. So again, like we say, I think the minister was trying to fleck out some of the difficulties we're having around our presidency. The president needs to have a secretariat, like Sam just said. During those days, I had my aunt, Shelley Brunel. She used to stay to the executive mansion sometimes till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We have to go pick her from them because you have to have a team that calling everybody verifying these things. If I Sam and myself have some exchange, even on this thing, even the energy data, there are some questions that you need to ask. Because if you're telling us that by 2027 we have 700 megawatts of power, come on, somebody have to be able to clearly tell us what is the source of this data. Have you signed contract for somebody to come and build a hydropower plant starting from next year? Do you already have a contract in place? So there are a lot of things that needs to happen. Again, gradually we'll get there once you start to, bring these things out. Because if you don't do it, guess what? It will repeat itself again in the next annual message.
Okay,
So how many persons in Liberia can interpret data?
All right, so let's try to listen.
Without-
Let's try to listen to what the Minister of Finance said today at his presentation.
of 5.1%, which surpassed projections and exceeded the performance of the previous year. Inflation fell to 4% in December 2025, the lowest level in more than 2 decades. Our international reserves increased by $101 million United States dollars. For the first time in many years, the Central Bank of Liberia recorded 2 consecutive operational surpluses. These achievements are not abstract. They form the foundation of a more stable market, a stronger currency, and a more predictable business environment. We also delivered the highest domestic revenue in Liberia's history, amounting to $847.7 million United States dollars. This exceeded our target by more than $43 million United States dollars. It demonstrates that when governance is disciplined, when leakages are closed, and when institutions are empowered, Liberia can finance a greater share of its own development. All of this was achieved during a year in which donor support was abruptly reduced. Many doubted our ability to withstand such a shock, and some even predicted collapse. Yet instead of faltering, we strengthened fiscal controls, tightened expenditure management, and ensured that essential services in health, education, and infrastructure were protected. We did not allow external distortions to dictate our destiny. We kept the country stable, preserved confidence in our institutions, and demonstrated that Liberia can stand on its own feet when discipline and resolve guide our actions. That resilience is not just a statistic. It is the true story of Liberia's progress, a story of a nation proving that setbacks can be transformed into opportunities for reform, self-reliance, and renewed trust in the governance. This does not mean we are out of the rules. We are not yet where we want to be. But one thing is certain, that we are certainly not where we were 2 years ago. Today is better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be better than today, and the day after will be better than tomorrow. My role today is to help the public understand how these commitments will be financed, how they align with the arrest agenda, and how they translate into more and better roads, more affordable goods, more jobs, and a more dignified life for every Liberian. This engagement reflects a new culture of openness in which government speaks plainly and welcomes scrutiny. We believe that public trust is earned through open conversation. As we proceed, I welcome your questions, your critiques, and your insights. Yes.
Okay, so that's the Minister of Finance today speaking with media personnel. Some were getting feedback. We're hoping that that can be quickly. Okay, so let me hear from you before I go to economist Sam Jackson. What's your takeaway, Representative Small?
Yeah. At this part, I would like to be genuine with the information from the minister. I would just like to scope it into macroeconomic stability and fiscal performance. So for fiscal performance, I would say granted, with all of those figures you call, 847.7 million, I think there was a growth from 600 2 million growth, right? Mm-hmm. So I would like to say, yeah, he did a great job. When it comes to macroeconomic stability, then we look at the price and the rating, right, of the US dollar. Then they try in the end of 2025, where we had the US rate to 160 and 150. But for now, the US rate have increased. So let's look at, for instance, just the common thing, commodity, bag of rice. Mm-hmm. So if rice was sold at $14 at that time of 2025, the rating would be low in Liberian dollars. Remember now, Mamus will not have the US dollar, they will have the Liberian dollars. So of today, there's no value when it comes to macroeconomic stability because the price of a rice is up high based on the Liberian dollars. Things that we need to look at, right? And I would say to the minister, it's not about just talking, especially the finance minister job. I told you once, Sober, this job is a job that can be done secretly. Do it and people praise you. You are not the spokesperson for government. You are not information minister to always come on the radio to align, right? I think information from him to the information minister could be fine. Most of this data are accurate, but it is based on fiscal performance.
I think the reason why, because he's cool in his area, you'll be able to properly explain for people to understand that if he just transfer the information to the minister of information, it may not sink down well to our people.
You know, I suppose something to it because he seems to be more political. When you get directly to the public, right? You make it. They should have someone to do that from the Ministry of Finance and not the minister.
Okay, let me hold you there. Mr. Jackson, are you on? Mr. Sam Jackson, calling on mute.
Oh, I'm not on mute.
Okay.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, go ahead. Your takeaway.
Look. Anytime you have to have ministers to come after a SONA to provide clarification of data or circumstances in the country. You have failed already. You have failed already. The president is the authoritative in terms of the president who is tasked by the constitutional Article 58 to inform the nation. Because if you look at Article 58, it's basically to tell us the state of the nation, where we are, right? And when the president finished speaking, for his surrogates to come out and try to put a spin on the misstatements and the errors and the failures, it tells you that they have done a very poor job of serving the president. Earlier, I talked about the 5.1% growth rate, largely from what? I said mining, agriculture, and services, right? And that is the truth. It is not broad-based growth. It is growth that is limited to three sectors. Also, we talk about the job that were created. Minister Kafwa, during the question and answer period, said the 70,000 jobs referred to 2 years, not 1 year. But the president was addressing us on circumstances that obtained in 2025, not in 2024. Back to the issue of inflation. Inflation is calculated by legislators on a what? On a quarterly basis. In the first 3 quarters of the year, there were very high inflation, 10, 11, and 12%. In the last quarter, what the central bank did was they sterilized a significant amount of Liberian dollars and caused an artificial shortage. That artificial shortage there caused a little bit of deflation within the economy, and some prices went down. Now, when they have to loosen that money, the Liberian dollar, the Liberian dollar will depreciate. I expect that in February and March, it's going to go above 200. It's going to go above 200. Once it goes above 200, you will have this inflation that was down to 4.4%. It's actually not just 4%. It's 4.4%. They refuse to put the 0.4 there. It is 4.4%. Okay? It is impossible for you to adjust absolute number, not a decimal. They refuse to put 4 there. Right? And
that's right.
In our calculation, in our calculation, let me finish, sir. You give me an opportunity.
Yes, go ahead quickly. Go ahead quickly.
I don't obstruct you. Even by their own calculation, and we're looking at different data points, it should be 4.84%. And I can show that calculation away from here, right? But the average annual rate of inflation, if you go ahead, you add the 4 quarters and divide it by 4, it is 8%. It's 8%. It's around 8% or 8.1% or something like that. Okay, that's the average annual. We compare inflation in the annual message year. Now where inflation is sitting in the last quarter because of the sterilization, the artificial shortage that was created in Liberian dollars.
Okay.
That's what.
Okay, you make a point. Let's Representative move more back quickly.
Yeah,
because I have to go to the others.
From the initial, just a question to Samir Jackson.
No. I'm not asking you a question. Make a statement. No.
From his statement, right? That's what I'm confused. He tried to contradict. For his statement, he said 8.4 for 2024. I'm hearing again 11. He went on to say quarter 1 is 11, quarter 2
10. In the first 3 quarters, you have to listen. I said in the first, I think it was like 11, 10, and 12%. I don't have the exact numbers, but those numbers there, I said there were high inflation in quarters number 1, quarters number 2, and quarters number 3. It went down significantly in quarter number 4 because of the sterilization, and that is the That is the four figure. That is the four figure that the president is quoting, was actually 4.4. They even removed the decimal. That's what I said. So if you average the four quarters, if you average the 4 quarters, you will get at least 8% inflation rate for the year. It is not 4%.
Is that not reduction? Is that not reduction?
But that's not the issue. We're talking about reduction. We're talking about the
Okay, I think Mr. Sen, actually you made a point already. You made a point. Let's hear from you, George. You listened to the tape, on the Minister of Finance. What's your takeaway?
Probably, from an understanding, is Mr. Jackson probably he doesn't want to accept the huge decline in inflation from 8.4 to averaging at 4.4 or 4.8%. The governments, most of the time across the world, when it's around 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, sometimes they can say 4%.
Yeah.
All right. It's not wrong to say, but it will be wrong if it is 6%, you say 5, you say 4%, or you say 5%. Yeah. So Mr. Jackson should not cling on a 0.4. It's important, but governments usually take the number that is more conservative to them that fall within a range.
Okay.
So that's not wrong, Mr. Jackson. And you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Let's hear from you. You listen to the tape.
My point is,
Mr. Jackson, 1 minute. 1 minute, Mr. Jackson.
The annual rate of inflation, is not 4.4%. You have to take the average of the 4 quarters. That is the point I continue to make. And they only took the last quarter drop and presented it as the annual rate of inflation, and that is wrong. That is not done anywhere in the world. That's the point I try to make to you. The average annual rate of inflation is not 4%. If you add the 4 quarters and divide it by 4, it will be over 8%. That's my point. That's the point I continue to make. Mr. George, not there?
I see that he's spinning. I don't know what is happening in the studio.
Data that are all out there that everybody can check.
Moses, let's hear from you before we can go to Senator Wellington Jivo Smith.
Okay, quickly. So let me just say this.
Moses?
Are you guys hearing me? Osobo, are you hearing me?
Moses,
Moses,
I think you need to go off and come back on.
Are you hearing me?
From here?
I'm here.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So quickly, I just wanted to say, like Mr. Jackson said earlier, when the president
internet from here, not from there.
whenever the president speaks, the state of the nation.
Moses, you are not coming. You are not clear.
Let me come back.
Yes, I think I'll go over and come back on. But gentlemen, I think the Minister of Finance, or let's assume it be the Minister of Land, Mines and Energy, the Minister of Labor, those people have the data, the raw data. They can take that information and transfer it to the Minister of Information to explain to the Liberian people, because they work like the Minister of Finance. He works religiously with the IMF, with the World Bank, with the international. So he understands the in the position where the president has schooled. They always make mistake.
I disagree with you on the clause that you use.
Go ahead.
When you said those entities that you need, labor, finance, they don't take that data to know. They really do. They gave it. They gave those data to the Minister of Information.
But you summarize it in a way that he can.
But when it comes to the technical jargon,
fine, that's fine. They are the ones who, I know, this as well. So, if the Minister of Finance came up to talk about, to elaborate more on what the president said, I think it is his responsibility to do that, because if he transfer the information or send the information to the Minister of Information, you will not be able to
Just
explain
summarize
that.
it.
He
Just
just will,
summarize.
summarize it.
Yeah.
I can give- I
Add
can
up, through jargons again, and as usual. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, give us
And
more.
I wanted to.
yes, sir. Come.
Honorable Moba says
Oh,
anything
someone.
about the minister staying away.
Moses, is Moses on now?
He's back.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, look.
So,
Okay,
so,
look,
Honorable
Soba
Moba, if
Yes, one minute. Let's hear from Sam. I think he wants to,
Okay.
because it's triple game by 9:30. I think he wants to.
Yeah, let him go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead,
Mr.
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Kennedy,
Moses.
I don't remember
Yes, sir.
in my lifetime. I don't remember in my lifetime where the president. I don't remember in my lifetime where the president gives a SONA, and there is so much clarification around that SONA. I've never seen it in my lifetime. That's why I said
I'm not-
this was an unmitigated disaster. Because if you have to explain what the president is saying, it means that you did not put that SONA message in the language for Man Mary, Uncle Flomo, Man Jebe, and Man President to understand it, for them not to be confused. The reason why they're providing all that clarification is because the public is confused. The public is greatly confused about what those numbers mean and what those numbers said. If you say the Liberian people, we created 70,000 short to medium term jobs, right? And immediately the next day, the minister have to come out, Minister Sano have to come out and get all these flying sheets about 35,000 jobs, Ministry of Public Works, urban lighting, and urban roads. Then they have to talk about 15,000 jobs for Realize project by the World Bank, a project that was started in 2021. When you start, the Liberian people are not interested in short and medium-term jobs who are social protection. They are interested in private sector jobs
Okay.
jobs that are sustainable, that are paying living
I need to clarify something.
Thank you, Mr.
You call my
So
name
someone-
specific name.
Someone
Yeah, I come Moses.
I want to make something.
Yes, come quickly, George. Come quickly, George.
Everywhere in the world, including the great United States, when the president delivers a SONA, the entire government can sell it. They can go around speaking to the facts, explaining the facts to the ordinary people. This whole SONA, as the explanation by Minister Gafan, has no problem. The problem is where the Minister of Information tries to contradict the figure that the president provided. That's where the caution is. But it is not wrong. It's not wrong. So
Yeah, Mr.
government officials in their own areas will go explaining what the president meant.
Elaborate further.
Yeah,
Okay.
to elaborate.
Okay,
on the point.
let's
It's
hear
not
from
wrong.
Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah.
Can I throw something to that?
Okay, Moses, where you come? Mr. Representative Small
Yeah, so we live in a world of technology where people use propaganda on social media. I think right after the president's speech, you saw those propagandists out there misinterpreting the speech of the president.
Yeah.
So to have people from the ministry who got control over certain subject issues that have been placed outside to discuss in total, I think it's in the interest of the government, and what it did was good. Yeah.
Okay, Moses, you can come in. Moses?
Well, yeah.
Yes,
Do you guys
come in.
hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I beg to differ, guys. I would like to take side with Mr. Jackson.
Okay.
What is happening, I personally see it as a redundancy, duplication of function. The president has spoken. The man spoke 48 hours ago. And you have cabinet minister coming, giving their version of the story. Some even saying something that contradicts what the president said.
For example,
For example, the situation with Minister Pierre. It's a graphic example. It doesn't all go well for cohesiveness in the government. Let me take it at the local level. Soba is the lead host on this show. If Soba goes and speak about the performance of the show, the impact the show is making on the public. There's no need for David Parker to go and say, "Oh well, I contributed $5 for this, and this is what the show is doing." Or Mr. Kennedy say, "Oh well, I am the lead researcher." No,
That's still
the
difficult to understand
So
logic.
let me just ask a question,
Let
please.
him learn,
So-
please.
so
Let the speaker.
yeah,
go ahead,
thank you, Mr. Kennedy. So as I was saying that the president has spoken. The president has spoken. I think we should have just allowed this to go back because everything that Minister Gaffon
And
said
let people,
today.
and let people do their own interpretation, whether wrong or right.
Let me give a scenario. A question to a scenario. A question to a scenario.
Moses, I think make a point.
Really quickly, let me just ask you.
I have
You
not
get the scenario. Yeah.
the representative is not allowing me to speak. So what
Well,
I'm
let me
saying
just ask
is
you.
that
Let me just ask you, Moses.
Moses, 1 minute, you have to
1 minute, you still come out. Yeah. Yeah, you gave a
Yeah, go
scenario
ahead.
of Sober. You gave a scenario of Sober from the studio. So
Mhm.
you said that if Sober gets out to inform the public about his show, the performance of his show, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
when Sober leaves after his presentation, there shouldn't be anyone from the studio to better explain to the people. What if someone in there, the audience, one of the audience, right, misinterpret Sober's information and said that Sober told us that after when he leave, we should go for money. I want to get it.
Okay.
I want to get it.
Yeah,
we
so
should go
this,
for money.
yeah, let me answer you. now.
Moses, let me come in, Moses. I think this is where I do differ with you, Moses. Normally, and it happened. I used to, serve at LBS, and after the showdown, you find people from the Ministry of Information and others who got control, who are cognizant of the
did that happen
issue
during
there.
the time?
It did happen.
Happened.
Where people went around to explain the
Did
story.
it happen Ellen's time?
Yes, it happened any time.
There's
Where
nothing
people
wrong
went
with
around to explain the story. There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's the difference.
So let me complete. So let me complete.
Moses,
Let me
the only
complete now.
thing is
Yeah.
that, Moses, the only thing is that where the Minister of Information erred was by coming out to throw the speech writers under the bus and exposing them to public ridicule. That the optics from there was not proper at all. I think he dropped the ball.
Look,
Properly, he dropped the ball back.
So in the instance, before Moses comes, so in the instance,
Look,
is somebody
Moses,
suggesting
please, I
that
beg you, let me say
whenever the data gets to the writer, don't the writers or doesn't the writer counter check data given
That's
to
what
the
we say. It needs to
writer?
be verified. So you need a team that actually go
You need a
out to
team,
verify
yeah.
to
Yeah,
see the-
because if a writer is already anything that is sent to
Let-
them,
let's Sam Jackson said.
Slobo, you know,
Look,
onto
look,
right.
Let me say something, please.
As
I beg
soon-
you, eh?
Yeah,
Before the president,
one minute, Mr. Jackson, 1 minute. We're coming to the compound, the MCC compound. The president spoke
Before
about
the
the compound.
president-
We need to talk about that quickly. Yeah.
Before the president even left the Capitol building,
Mhm.
political parties have already started analyzing the president's speech and making comments. And the president is not going to go back to verify those
No,
things.
no, no.
So it is now left
It's
for the
lieutenants.
people who are within those
Thank you.
institutions
Thank you.
to come out there to verify.
Clarification.
Because every political party, in fact, CMC was the first that night. Musa Blade had a long press
That will always happen. You
And
always
then-
find the opposition.
Yes.
Getting the positives of the president's
So
speech.
definitely you need somebody to come and verify those.
Oh, surely. Moses, let's hear from you quickly. You can learn, and then we'll go to Sam Jackson.
Look, this,
So what I was saying, Mr.
Sam,
Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, 1 minute. Mr. Jackson, 1 minute. Moses has his speech. Yeah, Moses, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Nobody
Okay.
was asking. Nobody.
Let Mr.
asking-
Jackson go.
nobody-
Go, Mr.
nobody
Jackson.
asked- let me finish. Nobody asked for clarification on the president's speech. When we spoke in clear and unambiguous language that the president lied. The president lied on many things. That is the reason why they sought to restate the misstatements and the outright lies that were in his speech. That is the reason why you have 48 hours later, there's a round robin. They're trying to correct the mistakes and the lies that were in his speech. So it was not the fact that we misunderstood anything. We understood everything the president said. And we said,
Let's hold it. That's a good one for Moses. Clarify that. That's a good clarify. Moses, you can come in quickly.
I think he had Moses a lot.
Moses, come here.
Moses, yeah.
Okay.
Moses.
Look, okay, guys, quickly, let me say this. I think Mr. Jackson has analyzed exactly what I was about to say.
Okay, so
And he's honestly right. The president delivered a statement that reflects the reality of happenings in the country. So you have cabinet ministers coming and contradicting themselves. It doesn't show cohesiveness in the government. That's the point I am driving. That's the point that Mr. Jackson is driving. This is unusual. We did not see this with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The UP folks ran all over the place. They said George Weah was what? Uneducated, or George Weah is uneducated. But we didn't see cabinet ministers in the CDC administration.
No, the man didn't say. The man is saying. The man is saying we didn't see cabinet minister go to contradict. He didn't say they didn't go to sell the speech. So I mean, it happened. Same thing. That's why we agree on that. You should have come out to contradict. But let's listen to the president on the compact, on the MCC compact. The president spoke about that, and then after which we'll listen to the president again also on the Capitol building assault case. I don't know whether it was quite necessary when the president started to have commented on the case, because it's a case that is in court, and giving his presidential comment, it may have a weight. So let's hear about the compact first, and then go to the case. Then we'll talk about the 15 new vehicles that were bought by the vice president of the Republic of Liberia for his staff. Was it a prudent decision, or was it a waste of public funds? Let's hear from you.
Members of the House of Representatives, members of the legislature. I informed you last year that our engagement with the United States have positioned Liberia for the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Compact. I am pleased to report that after a review and reassessment by the new U.S. government, Liberia's eligibility for a second MCC compact was reaffirmed in December 2025. The compact development process has begun, focusing on investment in energy and job creation. We extend profound appreciation to our bilateral and multilateral partners, including the United States of America, the European Union, People's Republic of China, the United Kingdom, Japan, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Morocco, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, African Development Bank, the United Nations and its agencies, the African Union and the Economic Community of West African States, and the Mano River Union for their trust, support, and ongoing commitment to Liberia as we strive to restore stability and bring essential relief and opportunity to our people.
Okay. And that's the president accentuating again on the issue of job creation. Again, he said the compact will focus on creating more jobs, infrastructure and energy. Let me get your take, Moses, on this one, and then we'll go to Wellington Jivon Smith. Is he off? Okay, we can go to
yes, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I think we are all excited about this. This is good news, and we hope that Liberia succeeds in getting the money for the implementation of the projects that it has identified. I think it's a good news. Thank you.
Okay, Edwin, let's hear from you.
Well, I think the president was just trying to re-echo what we've been hearing over time about this whole second compact. And like you rightly said, the first compact was basically for rural and energy. So this time around, it seems like he has a little bit switched again from role. It's now job creation and energy. Yes, because these are in fact, energy is the driver of the economy in most instances. So I believe this is why the government is saying, look, let's put more into energy, and then we can also now start looking in the area of job creation, because we have a very young population that are idle out there that we need to find jobs for them.
Okay.
I think
So that's a welcoming news. Let's hear from you, Representative Small on this one.
All right. First of all, to reaffirm, I would like to say bravo to us, the government. And and I want to ask you a bit. That really touched me is the issue of job creation to that of energy, because when you have energy, you also have more job.
LEC has become a flash in the pan now.
Yeah. What flash in the pan? Make it clear.
It's on just after a few minutes it gone off.
I think it was better than the previous regime.
You sure of that?
You know that?
Go ahead.
So for job creation, I think it all goes to the young people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you have more job and people like better, we'll not be sitting in the studio here to discuss issue, because this entire issue came from quote unquote the president's speech. Those things that he said, and others are saying, no, it's not what happened. So I think it's very important with the issue of job creation to that of our energy. Bravo to our government. Thank you.
Dave, let's hear from you.
I don't want to be repetitive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a welcoming news.
Okay.
And everyone has said.
So we're just expecting the figure now. The finance, the money.
The money to be in our hand.
Okay.
And then decide what.
Now, but do you think we expect to receive 500 million or maybe less than that? George,
that is unpredictable.
You see,
Maybe I didn't ask you, so you don't want to say anything. I ask you, George.
it is. I'm expecting $500 million.
Okay.
or close to that.
And I can tell you, I can see from the president's speech that the government is moving towards spending this money on hydro. Because the job creation he's talking about is the chain of investment that will come if hydro is available where there's cheap electricity, cheap and readily available electricity around.
Okay.
How the private sector will expand. The intention is actually with cheap electricity, the issue of government being the largest job creator will switch to the private sector because more SMEs
manufacturing entities can come in.
Okay. Now let me hear from Mr. Sam Jackson. Mr. Jackson, do you give the government?
I don't know if Mr. Jackson would say
the credit on this one, or again you differ?
I mean, every patriotic Liberian, will be hoping and praying that we can meet the requirements of Compact to get $500 million. If $500 million came to Liberia in terms of any kind of serious thing, not only will I benefit, but the people connected to me, my family, and the whole country will benefit. So why would I not want that? One of the problems I see with the Unity Party people is that when something good happens, they try to rub it in our faces, right? But they don't want us to have the celebration. We should all be happy. But they should say, "Oh, you're not happy because we're coming and get this thing, yo." It's like a little kid in a yard because you get a brand new shoes. You say, "Just look at my own shoe. Look at your old shoes." That's not how you. This is not how the government is supposed to work. We are all very happy, and at the level that some of us operate, we will be doing a lot of work and earn a significant amount of that money if $500 million is going to be invested in any project in this country to create jobs. It will also lessen the burden upon us. We have families and other vulnerable people in this country who will be getting jobs. So, all Liberians, all patriotic people, we all love our country. The problem with the Unity Party people is that they say, "Oh, you vex, you don't love Liberia." But when you were seeing Joria were bringing in Kush, when you were seeing Joria were killing three boys and getting the kidney, when you were seeing all those things that $16 billion were missing, you did not love Liberia. You did not love Liberia.
So you say
because we are critical that because we are critical, that they will not love Liberia,
Okay.
or you
All
love
right,
Liberia more. Let me finish. Or you
All
love
right. All right. So you made your point now, Mr. Jackson.
So you see, it's all about propaganda.
Or you love Liberia more because Unity Party is in power, so your patriotism goes up. Your patriotism is directly related to the party that's in power. That's how you measure patriotism, because your party is in power. So and I love the country.
We also lost CMC.
No, but I'm saying
Okay. Moses spoke, right?
Yes, I spoke.
That is exhibited every day in this country, where people within the Unity Party feel that they are more patriotic, they are more loyal to the flag of Liberia than the other people who are not in Unity Party. How
Okay.
clap for Liberia?
Yes,
Why did Mr. Kennedy say I'm going to have a different opinion? Why
Oh,
did
Mr. Jackson, thank you.
I have a question about Mr.
No, we have to transition.
Okay.
We have to transition.
Let me ask a question.
You said Mr. Jackson will have a different opinion. Why do you think in your mind will have a different opinion? Why do you even think that?
That's why he
I will have a different opinion?
So I know Mr. Jackson.
You love Liberia more than me? So you love Liberia more than me?
Keep asking today because let me say, you and I worked together before professionally, and you know that. You know me very well. But let me say this: my problem with you is you were just about to even deny the 5.1 had the IMF not confirm it. You're waiting for IMF to tell you figures to tell your own government. It's wrong because it's not from Mr. Jackson. So other people publish it is wrong. That's my issue with you. And with your level, I don't expect you to be one of those who will go say because the other people are doing the same thing to also I'm going to do the same thing because you are a statement, you are a mature person.
I would challenge the growth rate. Why do you think I would challenge the growth rate? Why? You don't think I want the economy to grow? I'll be happy if we have a lower growth rate.
Mr. Jackson, thank you. We'll have to transition quickly. Okay, Mr. Jackson, thank you. Let's try to get it in quickly to on the Capitol building saga. Let's try to play that tape. The president spoke about that. In fact, I think that was the very first, thing that the president spoke about. Let's take a listen.
Honorable members of the legislature, we are painfully reminded again of the last year's arson attack on the Capitol building. This attack on our symbol of democracy has forced us for the second year to meet in this courtyard instead of the historic chamber. The legal process to bring those responsible for this heinous act is still going on. I, however, assure every Liberian that my administration is pursuing this matter with resolve and impartiality, and that anyone found guilty will bear the full weight of the law. I use this time to remind those driven by narrow personal interest that this country is moving forward, not backward. As Winston Churchill once observed, and I quote, "Never yield to the power of the adversary if it contradicts honor." In that spirit, our democracy will not be intimidated, our institutions will not diminish, our commitment to the rule of law and constitutional government remains unshaken, and the process we continue to make will not be thought of.
Okay, George, let's hear from you on this one. That was, in fact, the first strong position that the president made when he started his sermon, saying that his government is pursuing this with impartiality to ensure that those who were involved with the burning of the Capitol building, will be held liable in line with law. Do you think the president should have? Do you think the president, he should have commented on that when the matters already in court? He has gone further, and let's hear from you.
So the matter
Mr.
is
Kennedy?
in court.
I come in.
So the matter
so
is
I just want to appeal to my brother Kennedy and you, George, and the rest of the guys. I'll be leaving in the next 2 minutes. Mr. Kennedy,
Okay.
please.
All right. So let's talk on this.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
just say something quickly. The opening statement by the president, I think the president just reaffirmed his position regarding this matter. He said that this was an arson attack. And we know this place was guarded by a fire. There's no evidence to show that someone set that place on fire. If someone set the place on fire, then the word arson becomes what? Applicable. But the president said it was an arson. So the president went to this place when the place was guarded by fire, that first day he appeared there. He said, he referred to those people. He said those who did it. In fact, he said the Capitol building is not a place for hoodlum. So the president still saying the picture that hey, a certain group of people at the Capitol are the one who did that. And I think as the president of the republic, this matter is currently in court. He cannot maintain that position. This is more like jeopardizing the court. I mean, jeopardizing the case. The case is being heard. So for the president to continuously maintain that this was the work of people, I have a problem with that. Let me stop there, guys. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Moses. Thank you for the night. Josh, let's hear from you. You were in speech.
the president was reporting to the legislature, the Liberian people, so he was giving the status of this case. The Justice Ministry is prosecuting this case in a court. The Justice Ministry falls under the executive branch of government. So they gave the report to the president. The president had to tell the Liberian people what's the status of this case as of the day he was presenting this statement. In my opinion, it doesn't show that the president is taking side because the matter is before court. It is a judiciary that will decide impartial justice, that will conduct impartial justice. Once they say, Mr. President, the people win the case against you, definitely, I believe that case will be ended, but it is.
So you differ with Moses on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Representative Mobile, let's hear from you.
All right. This is one of the part of the speech I was really waiting for so that we could have a lengthy discussion. It was this same part that a colleague of mine and other people from the opposition end make mention of, saying that the president said that last year means that 2025. So he was in error, right? It was a claim. So let me say this. When you see what the president said, of last year also an attack on the Capitol building. This attack on your symbol of democracy has forced us for the second year to meet in the courtyard instead of the historical chamber.
Chambers, yes.
Right? So when you talk about 2025, no, the president did not mention 2025. He said previous year, the year of the also attack reflect the previous year. And the writer went on to clarify that by saying this is our second time sitting outside of the rectangle. So 2026, make it 1. 2025, make it 2. So it sent you back to 2024. So it is clear. But with the entire part of this speech, it goes towards the arrest agenda, the rule of law. The president tried by all means to reaffirm his government to keeping a specific justice system that guides the rule of law. So this part is not against anyone. This part is not about reconciliation, as many think he should have reconciled, right? How can you reconcile justice? It makes no sense.
But I'm just saying, okay, I'll ask you've already ended. Let me ask you, Edwin. There are individuals who are in court. In fact, some of them were jailed and released on bail. Don't you think with the president coming out to speak to this case, don't you think it was a form of intimidation as well?
No, I don't think so. The judiciary is a separate branch of government. In as much as people say, because of the power of the purse and whatever the executive has, the judiciary is a separate branch of government. Now, like the Honorable Moluba said, there was something that actually anticipated the president's comment. Again, we are meeting in the courtyard instead of the historic rotunda where we're supposed to meet. And the circumstances that led to us meeting here again, it was this process. We're following this process to the conclusion. And if anybody is caught or guilty, we're facing the full weight of the law. I don't think I don't think he even went into the nitty-gritty of the matter within the court, because he knows very well that matter is sub judice. He cannot get involved in it. But he was just reinforcing that, look, whatever happens, that we're not sitting in the comfortable chambers, we are sitting outside here. This is the reason. But however, we have not allowed that thing.
Okay, that's your interpretation.
That's your interpretation. I disagree with your interpretation. The same day the incident occurred, the same day the president prejudiced the case, because the president was already judgmental that it was a work of hooligans. He said it. So the president, from the initial stage of this case, has been prejudicing the case, has been prejudicing or undermining the case, saying that I hope there wouldn't be impartiality and all that thing. I mean, you are influencing the decision of the judge or of the court.
Was the case in court
And then
at that time?
so even if it wasn't in court,
They did
the incident occurred, the president already made a decision, made a conclusion that it was a work of hooligans, because at that time the investigation had not even started to even determine whether it was somebody who set the place on fire or it was an accident.
Okay.
From the initial stage.
All right, Grace, thank you. Let's hear from Sam. Sam, are you on? Let's hear from you. Your perspective on the president's mentioning of the case, the arson case.
So, Mawata, let's go to the origin of the origin of this. You forget that Joe Boyka and the renegade lawmakers, they got into an illegal meeting. They convened illegally. They did not meet the constitutional requirement to convene. And they were being paid.
No, please, we're not going to entertain that. The man is speaking. David spoke already. Nobody should cross talk the man. Go ahead, Sam.
They were sleeping in a Ghana Man hotel, RLJ, with their girlfriends and their concubines.
I think you have to respect.
Please, please. I'm saying that. But let me speak now. Let me speak. Go ahead.
They respect law because.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson. Go ahead.
Y'all can sue me. And you didn't have
when I sue you, you can't be a lawmaker will give you the same talk. That's all. Yes, let him speak. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
To a Ghanaian man that y'all give between $6 to $8 million to his bank. They were sleeping there for like almost 90 days at about $200 a night and food about $100. They went and illegally removed a sleeper. There you go.
Please, man, let him speak, man. Let him speak. Go ahead.
When I be talking to my Mary, then they can be getting vexed. Because me, I'm from Solingwen. I'm getting no stupid Siri in my mouth. I talk to my Mary. So for let my Mary then remember where the branding of the capital came from. The branding of the capital came when people illegally try to remove a speaker, and when the Supreme Court ruled, I'm talking about the rule of law, what the president talking about. When the Supreme Court ruled, they resisted the ruling of the Supreme Court, where they had to ask for another bill of information. And before that bill of information served, the Minister of Justice erroneously interpreted the ruling of the Supreme Court. That's where the whole thing came from.
So you justify the burning of the Capitol building?
No,
the alleged
please,
burning?
please,
No, why he's
the man is saying something. When the man finish, you can ask me
You
a
can't send a
question.
check for him,
The man
sir?
is saying, the man is saying something. Go ahead.
You
Go
provide
ahead.
justification.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, so the two of you, they
Goodbye. You're supposed to be editing what that. Listen yourself. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
There's a mistake somewhere there.
No mistake
The
there.
president,
Sam, go ahead.
the president of the Republic of Liberia invited the Honorable Speaker to go with him to the Vatican, one of the most sacred religious places on this planet. And while the Speaker was kissing the ring of the Pope, the president and his surrogates
that
I am the honor saying surrogates.
so that tonight you chose to explain.
It's not just a Leon.
they were organizing the removal, this midnight push.
Okay, so we appreciate the history that you've given, Mr. Jackson. But just speak to what the president said.
No, I don't want to put just say the president said they must go and prosecute. I want him to know the reason why he got that anger in his heart. I want him to know where this whole thing came from and why he still got it in his heart. When the case has been adjudged a mistrial, and the mistrial means that the jury was dismissed for whatever reason. So the case and everything is a lawyer. He will tell you the president of the Republic of Liberia cannot put any pressure because he will be contaminating the jury pool. Because everybody in the country who listens to that speech there, who becomes a juror, will be prejudiced against any future against the defendants. The president was wrong. The president was mean.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you. Thank you. You got any country you want to
Grand Coup.
Change of venue to go to a different country. And when
Actually, no, to a different county. A different county.
Go to a different country. Nationally. The president.
All right.
Nationally.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, thank you. We have to transition quickly. Thank you very much. But that's the video that has the 50 vehicles. We have to
different country. You go to a different country. Change the venue. When the
He talks about the Minister of Justice making his opinion.
What are you talking about?
The law gave the Minister of Justice that authority because he's the dean of the Supreme Court.
I think let me go to the court.
So
that matters.
So
He has the right.
yeah.
Let's try to transition quickly. Play the video that has to do with the brand new 15 vehicles. I don't know what Representative Small more about board vehicles too for his staff. We're going to talk about that as well. Yeah, that's the last discussion here. That's the last topic.
That's what I'm saying.
Quickly.
I can ask for that. I have to go. I got.
This is the office of the vice president. The VP say I cannot just be the vice president and I won't be in Guka. So I'm making some vehicles available for my co-workers, people who are making the office of the vice president very effective. You see these vehicles, brand new vehicles for different positions in the office of the vice president. The first of a kind for a Liberian vice president to do that. See the kind of cars that the vice president is purchasing. And fortunately this morning, my own friend and brother, Edwin Corden, is assessing this one. The new kind of people, Edwin. Brother Edwin, you see? Edwin, this morning I see the man doing some assessment. That is good man here. Edwin, come on, move on, Mecca. So you see, brand new cars. In fact, the cars are better than the car the vice president, right? But if for co-workers, position, special assistant, chief of office staff, and you know, these are Liberians occupying the position, the Liberian people occupying the position. All of the position you see from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all brand new vehicles.
Okay, gentlemen, we saw the vehicles on camera. Let's begin with the representative quickly. What's your thoughts on that?
All right. This is where I split when it comes to my party, and I love to just stand with my way of thinking, my decision that sometimes we make. This is not a party thing now, so I'm outside of the party, the box of the party. We discussing real politics. I think it's not in the interest of the government where the vice president will go single-handedly purchase vehicle for few of his starvers. I think 50 million. I think it was wrong. Because the thing is this, we have GSA that is responsible for that, right? So when it is from the government end to the people, I think it's in the interest of everyone. But when it comes directly from the vice president, one who like in the seat wanted to be a president, doing that, what happened is that it reflects down to the commoner, our poor people, the grassroots. There is someone sitting somewhere, like he said, Man Mary Man Lopu sitting somewhere, and they haven't received a cup of rice just for a day. And you just go to buy a vehicle. If he was going to use that money on the people, it could show some good reflection. But what he did,
or hospitals to buy drugs and all of that.
Yeah, what he did, I think it was wrong. Maybe he did that because sometimes we all are lawmakers. There are pressure from our starvers, especially the COS. Quite reason that you heard about COS coming together or wanting to increase their salary. It's not a bad thing. Like some time ago, they brought an idea, quite reason they brought the idea whether we could tip the salary of the COS. And I said to them, no, I think it's not possible. Because what happened is that they still are making the range of 500, 600 United States dollars. That should be something enough for them. There is somebody in the district who is working on behalf of the district, but need money. They haven't received any money yet. So can we incorporate another person from the district on the list so that we can pay this person? Then we have additional person coming in who haven't yet taken pay, who haven't gone through the employment rating. Can we do something for them? It was my decision. But what the vice president did, sometimes we have pressure, top pressure from up, and sometimes loosely you just go about doing things. I think it was wrong, but it was because of pressure from those around him. Thank you.
Do you say it was a waste of public funds, you think? He could have bought maybe a bus or 2 buses to take his staffers to work at home.
I think it was waste of public fund, whether the vice president will be involved with me, but that's the truth. It was waste of public fund because what you do, if you have servers, as you said, you could just buy 1 bus that would take them home. Or look at 2 or 3 persons and offer them a car. You got to use this one to go home. So another thing would be, what become of the fuel for those cars? Then you look at the budget. The budget of the vice president will have to go up because you have to tap somebody's salary or you have to give them fuel to at least for the movement of those cars. So I think it was like, it was not wise. It was not time.
Okay, Edwin, let me ask you. In a country where that's hard on employment here, and every time you listen to the businesses, they are all crying foul and things are not working properly. Do you think that decision by the vice president was a prudent one when that money should have been used maybe to buy drugs and other medicals for hospitals?
Well, I totally disagree with the Honorable. And I would say this, we need to gravitate from this whole, issue of trying to downgrade the people who work in these offices. And I think Honorable
Is that what it's called, downgrading?
Of course. I think Honorable Boluba, your
I'm not running a new car.
No.
I'm not running a new car. Let's start with me first.
You have a budget to buy a new car. No, I'm coming up. But you have a budget to buy a new car.
And are you still on the people?
Of course. That's your preference.
Uh-huh.
Now, I think even your chief of office staff need a car.
He already has a car. I gave him car.
Of course, now. So that's good, right? Look,
So where did that money come from?
let's be realistic.
Please, you don't have to ask
That's for government.
That's not your
It was
time.
never for your budget. It was never for your budget. Let me correct you. It was never for your budget. Never for your budget.
Go ahead, Edwin. Go ahead, Edwin.
Let's be realistic, right? This is the second person in our country. He has staffers who are working for him. I don't think buying a $10,000 or $15,000 car from China is a news. We don't even know. Maybe he probably got it as a gift because he's been to China 2-3 times. Now, the display of those cars, it shows that he appreciated the people who worked with him. All right, and I think Honorable Moluba talked here that honor the law, honor your law. They have about 15 people that they're supposed to employ. So even if you have people in the district, so you can put someone on your payroll. The vice president said, "Look, these are my staff. They have to run here and there." Come on, how do you feel? A staffer from the vice president office is going to maybe to the Ministry of Finance to go and run after some voucher, and he had to stay on the road to get in taxi. And money has been there. There's a budget for the vice president office.
Do you know what do you know what he purchased those vehicles from his budget? Are you aware of
They're
that?
discussing 15%.
Definitely, he's not going to take it out of.
15.
He's not going to take it from anywhere else. He has a budget. He has a budget.
Do you know the budget of the vice president? Do you know the budget line?
No.
Where the vehicles will come from?
I don't have to know to specify, but there are budget lines there.
But you don't speculate. So
No.
Okay, let me hold it. Because if you want the point is you don't know what this budget line. You don't know whether he got it as a gift from China. You say you've been traveling
So
to
that's
China.
why I say it. There's nothing more in it.
Okay, that's absolutely.
We're talking about buying drugs.
When it's a gift, then nothing wrong with that.
Okay, yes. Okay, let's hear from you, Dave.
But generally, what I do know is that when vehicles have been bought or before they are bought, I think the GSA.
No, GSA.
Wait.
No, please, you finish speaking, please.
When
Let the man speak.
when vehicles are being bought for government officials and their staff, I think no vehicles can be procured by the
GSA.
general.
Nothing has been changed.
Please, let the man learn now, Edwin.
And those kind of vehicles are classified as, employees, only government for government employees for the movement of staff. Well, regarding the vice president, the first thing we have to know is where did the money come from? From his own budget or from the national budget?
But his budget is
But there is a budget for your office. As he said, he bought a car from one of his staff or two of his staff, right? He
Yeah.
said what?
Yeah.
And I asked, where did the money come
From a
from?
private business.
From his private business, right?
Yeah.
So who knows whether the vice president, as Edwin said, must have received a gate or must have taken the money from his private business or from his pocket.
As we
But
speak,
to boost efficiency of his staff, to boost the efficiency of his staff. So he decided to buy them vehicles. So that sounds extravagant.
So are you aware that in Nimba County, from where the vice president comes, there are clinics and hospitals that don't have drugs there? Are you aware of that?
Well, I haven't heard whether
Have you done your assessment?
They are.
Excuse me, sir.
They are limited. They are limited. Are you aware of that? No. Abu Kami David, are you aware that there are limited supplies?
So I'm not protected.
Okay. No, please help me protect them. Help me protect them.
So the first thing, at no time in recent time I've heard or was it published in any newspapers was it aired on the radio that hospitals in Nimba have run out.
So you see all this water in Nimba?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying, I don't want to insinuate
Okay.
that, because what you want us to do is you want us to insinuate that.
No, I'm asking a question.
That there are hospitals in Nimba need vehicles. So it's wrong for the vice president to buy a vehicle for his staff. Why, if we don't know that the vice president must have already given the hospitals the money they need or the medicine they need?
Oh, he's still also speculating. So let me leave you now and go to.
So I mean, why is it that it sounds extravagant? I don't think we should judge. We should conclude that the money he used.
Do you say it's a wise decision?
It's a wise decision to boost efficiency, but first of all,
It's not a waste of public funds.
Another source.
I'm coming. Is that a waste of public funds?
Yes, a lawmaker sitting here, he said he used his own money to have purchased to abort a vehicle for his staff. Who knows that the vice president must
You
have
heard Representative Small say
Similarly-
it's a waste of public funds.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
situation.
Saying it.
So why would you want to support it?
No,
When there are clinics and hospitals in Nimba that don't have sufficient drugs and medical.
Is it a fact?
Okay, let me go to George.
George, come in. No, I don't want you to create that.
It's not a fact.
I don't want you to create that issue between the vice president and myself here, right? The thing I'm saying, I say if
Oh no, but he says
let me make it clear.
uh-huh.
When this amount is from the budget or from the vice president office, I consider it to be a waste.
Is it an amendment?
When this car is from away, like a gift, is different. But so long as it's in the budget, I consider it to be a waste of
Public funds.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I like that amendment. Okay, let's hear from
So
you.
it's not an amendment of what I said.
So the vice president declared his assets.
Mhm.
So I saw more than $6 million US
Okay.
his assets. A very successful businessman, someone who built a hospital in Mima, more than I think around 100 bedrooms, foundation,
Yeah.
properly intended what to the government. So to spend under $200,000 or $150,000 to buy a few cars for his staff,
It mean nothing.
I feel that it's peanut for him. My problem wouldn't be if a government funds. And if a government fund, I feel that it's too much. All right. If it is a gift, it's a violation of code of conduct.
And then that's supporting it. He said
Wait,
the vice president received gift
I
from
put
China.
myself in the place. If it is a
Edward.
gift to him,
Uh-huh.
not to the country, you know the code of conduct.
No, a gift could be two different ways. Gift could be from an entity to him.
Entity to him.
Okay, so
Gift could also be like his
If it was
own
for the
private money.
state, if it
that
was
he buy for,
so
you know.
yeah,
If it was for the
to him.
state, it would have come to the
So-
state.
so-
Please let the man speak
So
now.
the
You
code of
spoke.
conduct said the public official should not receive gifts from any individual or company that is more than something amount, I think $150 US.
Yeah.
The code of conduct.
I know that.
So it means whether private or public, he cannot take such gifts. So if it is a gift and he received it and they didn't go to the country, it means that it's a violation of code of
So-
conduct. That's what I mean.
So even
But I
those
know-
individual CD is also under the code of
I
conduct.
know, I know that he has.
I give it back.
I know that he has the financial capability
That's right.
to buy those vehicles and turn it over to his staff. And if it is from him, I must appreciate him for upgrading his staff. And I also want to thank you too. Not because you said it,
What's the
but
morale of this guy?
you bought vehicles for your COS from your pocket.
Yeah, but we gotta look
That
at
was very good.
we gotta look at the threshold
Yeah.
with the code of conduct.
Yeah.
It's more than the amount that also form short of what
Yeah,
the code of conduct says.
so it's good always to upgrade your staff. It's very important for you to
Efficiency.
it produce, I mean, it enhances the staff capacity to produce.
Okay, now granted.
So-
Gentlemen, let's look at the optics. Let's look at the optics. I said granted. No, like you said, if it is from government funds, it's a waste of resources,
Yeah,
like you said. Let's look at the optics. We see the situation around. Every time you wake up in the morning, that's still complaints by people. That's unemployment. The challenges are still there. It's all is not well. For the vice president of the Republic of Liberia, let's assume each of the cars are about $15,000. To buy a vehicle, 15 of them, for $15,000 or $20,000 each. Gentlemen, what do you think about it? How do you think that Mount Wata and the rest of them we're going to receive this news?
It depends. It depends. First, we look at it from one dimension where those individuals, remember now, the position of vice president, lawmaker, they are a political position, right? So when you incorporate somebody into your system, it means they have the willpower to pull crowd. So, and they have the formal backing. So if you take a guy from Malapu is a poor lady, maybe she's selling kobo. Take this young man, because Malapu sent this young man to school and say, come and be with me because of your strength to pull population, to pull the crowd, right? And you look at this young man, you say, look, I will give you a car. Malapu will be sitting down in red light, very happy, because it's just the first time for the son to receive a car,
Okay.
right? In his entire life. That's one aspect of it.
Mhm.
But then, with the entire populace, the group, right, the citizen, it tends to be difficult.
You sense about optics.
Yeah, about optic. Because people will be like, wow, if the president, the vice president, wanting to be a president, can spend money like this, what become of us tomorrow. Because money should be spent within area that will benefit majority of the people, like the clinic, the hospital. We have been to Redemption. How many CT scanner you have there? Jeans Daily been complaining. Just recently, government took our bosses there. Jeans Daily need a land to expand. What can you do as a vice president?
Even at the JFK.
Yeah, even at the JFK. Even in Nima County, Jackson Dole Hospital, right? They need something from you. What can you do that the majority will benefit instead of just few people based on employment?
Now, let me go to you, Tabo. Don't sync with the optics that may likely come out. People may not, may think that the VP is, he's...
The first thing that comes to my mind is that whether it is constitutionally binding on lawmakers to be the ones to buy vehicles or provide medicine for hospitals and clinics. That's not discretional. That decision is discretional, depending on the gravity of the situation, involved. And besides that, the vice president taking money to buy money and to buy vehicle for his staff, I think that is commendable. I mean, upgrading the integrity and the morale.
So we don't care about the optics?
No, wait.
Okay.
Give me a chance.
No, I'm just asking.
No, don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Go ahead,
And besides that, buying
No, we might ask you.
and besides that, the vice president bought vehicles for a staff today. Tomorrow he could buy medicine for Jackson Dole Hospital. The next he could buy benches or books for a school. So buying the vehicles for his staff doesn't mean that his generosity or his magnanimity stopped to his staff and not the whole of neighbor or institutions like
You sound like you're not concerned about the optics. How people going to see it? You don't care about that.
Sabo.
You sound no. I come in. The way you sounding, it's like you are giving credence to insensitivity. That's what you're trying to do.
Somebody buying a vehicle for his staff.
That's what you're supposed to be buying. We're supposed to be using that money to buy drugs for JFK or to go and buy medical supplies for the hospitals and then you use that money to buy 15 vehicles.
I think
are you not sounding sensitive yet?
I'm independent in my opinion.
No, I'm just asking.
What I've said is what I said. Buying a vehicle for your staff doesn't mean that.
Okay.
Let me very quick. Yeah, something about the lawmaker. It's not necessary for the lawmaker to go about buying drugs or whatsoever for hospital. And let me just tell you the aspect of, because we have three cardinal responsibilities.
Sure.
Most of us don't understand those roles, right? You talk about lawmaking, right? You talk about representation in public policy. When you represent your people, you request from government. You have an oversight over government to do certain things for your people.
I agree on
If government cannot do, you do.
That's it. So you as a lawmaker, what can you pressure the government to do? And you will do personally.
But that's your role to be able to.
Not every time.
Government to do.
Yeah, government got a lot of work. Government have 73 districts to work, right? So if I come with issue and there is a delay that government cannot come in, it's your bound duty to do because the people are all watching you to do that.
But I think that's the political aspect of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you are in a poor environment.
Yeah. The optics here.
So because you are in a poor environment, so if you get opportunity that will make you, that will change you, you shouldn't take it because the poor people will look at you bad, right? That's why you're trying to say it to the people, right? Isn't that why you want us to preach?
No, I'm listening. No. Listen, we are talking about the optics.
Yes, that's it.
Relative to what the VP has done.
Yes.
Buying 15 vehicles.
Yeah.
New brand vehicles. Each of those vehicles should be about 25,000.
Okay, you know, let's say 50,000 for one.
Now, when as a country, you still have major challenges.
Like how?
Confront medical supplies.
Okay. Poor people.
Do you think JFK has? What country use that money that will benefit a vast majority of the people than just 15 persons?
So most of the
time, and the 15 persons, are they the ones you are trying to recruit now for campaign season? Is that what it is?
So you see, that's.
No, I'm asking them. I'm just trying to give you.
Mistake. That is a mistake. Look, I work with any boss. If you cannot help to improve me, No need of me staying there to provide you, to give you my professional services. And really, let's be frank. That's why I'm one of the advocates for lawmakers.
So you think that help was necessary?
Yes.
Okay.
You need to. I'm one of
You
the.
don't care about the optics. You just care about the benefit.
But he said something.
If you are not living well, how will you want to help other people? So I said that's why I'm one of the advocates. I'm one of those who always say that lawmakers' salary, people should not play with it. It should be. You know why? You see this honorable man. You go to his house right now, you see people there.
You're waiting to him before
If you go to his office, the letters are there. They're terrible.
We're not going to talk about listen. We are talking about the optics. We're not talking about to me or your big. Also, the vice
Look, let's be realistic. The bar optics that I've seen of late, it was on the internet when I think some deputy superintendent from MCSS was fighting for taxi the other day. And somebody took his picture and put it on
social media.
Government on social media. That's the bar optics. The bar public optics is that staffers from the vice president office standing in the street fighting for car.
Right, motorbike.
And then tomorrow the people will say, oh, but wait, people from the vice president office standing on the if I get on motorbike, the vice president send the mail somewhere he gets there. He gets there.
So what is wrong? What is wrong? If the vice president go back, what is wrong with that? No, I'm coming here. What is wrong with that?
The vice president has a special assistant. So when he's sending him to go to the
bus,
you take the vehicle. You take the vehicle. And people are you got a vehicle. You take the vehicle and some at the office.
Do you?
So if you're saying the style, you can use a vehicle.
So do you expect that man? Okay, so the VP.
So let me ask you now.
Even the vice president,
let me ask you.
You not expect them to go around.
Let me ask you. What is wrong if that monies were taken to buy drugs?
There is everything wrong with that.
What is wrong with that? Oh, so you expect the vast Go ahead.
There's everything wrong with that.
You have money in the budget.
The Ministry of Health has a budget.
Thank you.
To provide medicine for all of the hospitals.
So that means the Ministry of Health should go buy drugs for people in Nimba County. Let me get a party comment. Somebody will shoot you. It's out. Let's get a party comment.
Oh, thank you. I want to openly tell the vice president, thank you. I know that some of the lawmakers on Capitol Hill, some of we hearing bad news, you don't hold your staff well. We want you to do better for your staff because they need to be well taken care of so they can be able to support you properly.
You sound very sensitive for me.
Yeah.
So I see you sound very sensitive. Say, yeah.
Even as you speak, in the government, most especially the ministers of government, many of them have vehicles, but the assistant ministers don't have vehicles. They don't care about that. That is insensitivity. I think that's what we should be talking about. Then a vice president or a lawmaker empowering his staff to be efficient and effective.
You used to be at the Ministry of Information when you looked at why you left?
I stay around.
You don't go to job. You don't go to work there. I'm not making on the government. I'm not working. I'm not working.
I'm not working with
I think it was a great discussion tonight. And just to close up, like I say, the actions of the vice president is laudable, and I think other lawmakers and senators should also see if they can go that route. Sacrificing $15,000-$20,000 for maybe senior staff in the office. I don't think that, but in fact, he encouraged them to do more.
Senior staff who are poised to be recruited at campaigns, right? Okay. Let's hear from you.
All right. I would like to say thank you for the invite. It was a nice show, but let me just throw a few emphases as it relates to the last discussion. I would say this: to say it's laudable. It will be laudable where the vice president was using his own salary to buy those vehicles for the staffers. But when it is within the budget, not under the salary, right, within the budget, right, I think is something not.
All right, please, let me just put Dave on, man. Dave just, passing this number quickly. Dave, what you say?
I don't know why
David
they
Cody.
open the line. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
I was not opening lines tonight, but let's hear from you quickly.
All right, thank you. Let me say many thanks to all of you. The show was very good tonight. I listened from the beginning to the end. It was all good. And I just want to say here two things quickly. Number one, mistakes made in the president's speech during the SONA should not overshadow the gains made by this government in a very short period of time. That should be our main concern. What this government has done in a very short period of time. I haven't seen this since Tubman time. So we should be happy or be concerned more about the gains.
What have you not seen since Tubman time?
Still with electricity. You were aware of that?
I was here during the Tubman days. I didn't see Tubman making all of these great achievements in just one.
So you were here Riyadh days, where? You were here Riyadh days where you built the monument for Riyadh. What you saw?
Where they were just zero. Forget about that one.
All right, I see you.
No. Let me say something quickly about the president's, the VP. I agree with your comments. I mean, your colleagues over there, those who are saying that the VP has the right to do what he did, that's good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Even when we were there, if I had an opportunity to buy bicycles or motorbike for my staff, I would have done it. It's not a bad thing, and that's not going to spoil his chance for 2025. I mean, 2035.
2035?
Yeah, VP Cole is the next president in 2035, right after the second term of Uncle Joe. Nobody, look, man, I'm sorry that you don't have much time now.
Yeah, we see you. We see you.
From what this government is doing, anybody who would be brave to challenge this government in 2029, you'll be standing before a moving train. Thank you.
All right. To just finalize quickly, I would like to say, usually we always get an achieving indicators directly from what happened, the results. So I can assure you, with all of those propaganda, with all of those media outline raising the red flag with the issue of the president's speech, the issue now for the Liberian people is not the speech, right? The issue is what they can receive, and they've been receiving a lot. The issue of electricity, I think you listen to my brother Kuti, he said that. The issue of good roads, the president is on it now. You can go to your home and come back maybe in 2 days' time.
You know my home?
Yeah, your home. So, no, thank you.
You know which country I come from? All right, so gentlemen, let me thank all of you for tonight. Again, I'm sure the show was good. This program basically is intended to discuss all sides. We don't segregate. We don't cherry pick. If the government did something positive, we're going to talk about that. If the government did something negative, we're going to beat on the government. So we want to thank you for listening. Join us that Friday for the weekend edition of the program. Beginning next Monday, we'll go full week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hoping that you can join this program and be informed and educated. Until then, have a splendid and pleasant night.